Hello, welcome back to another episode of Train Simulator Classic, aka Railworks. Today is going to be a first look for me. It's a recently released update to a route that we've already looked at. It's an update to the North Somerset Heritage route. A semi-fictional payware route available from the Steam store. A little bit of an older DLC that it's a fictional route based on a real idea that was executed alright. The original the route from Steam is made. It's alright. It forgets the entire quarry area. I did a video on it a while ago if you'd like to go check it out. But there's an entire quarry area that's supposed to be part of this whole thing that they laid the track out and then didn't bother to do any of the scenery or anything. The heritage operation itself really doesn't have much facility-wise. The route overall is quite nice. It's just really limited on what you can put on the route and fill in with. So this is an update to that route by Peppercorn Workshops, and so I heard tell it was quite nice. I liked the North Somerset route overall. Even with its issues, it's a route that I go back to a lot because size-wise, it's really quite nice for DMU sets or these smaller tank steam locomotives, little short 3-4 car trains. And it's a heritage line that it's not limited to 25 miles an hour. You actually have an opportunity to get your locomotive up to a respectable, clip. You get to get past a little crawl, kind of a walk. But speed limit's something like 40 across the better part of the route, so it's really nice. You get the opportunity to really kind of stretch out and put some of these tank locomotives to the test if you put some of the heavier coaches behind them, or you get some of the smaller tank locomotives. So it's really nice for things like that, and the route itself is detailed fairly well given the lack of new assets used on it, like scenery wise. So I liked it well enough. Peppercorn Workshops opted to upgrade it further. And so we're going to take a look at it today. Now come over here to Google. We'll see if it'll pull up. Show you guys how I got here. I have their Facebook page, I think. I don't know why. I just kind of tend to forget they existed. But here is the route itself. Here's where you find it. Here's where you download it. Here are the requirements. You need the North Somerset Railway. Obviously, that is your base route, so you're going to need that. You're going to need both of the Riviera lines, the modern and the classic, the West Somerset Railway, Doncaster Works, and the steam version of Malmesbury Branch. I actually didn't know there was a Just Trains version, but cool. So, expanded upon by James Smith. This rendition of the North Somerset Railway converts the route into what could have been a modern-day heritage railway. So, as I said, the original idea behind the North Somerset Railway was to promote the rebuilding of a heritage line. There's a group that was trying to rebuild the route. I don't know anything about the group. I don't know anything about the route. I don't know if that organization is still working towards building the modern day heritage route, but this is a further development of what said route could be if they're still working on, or what it could have been had they been successful. So the entire length of the line has remained in preservation, with the inclusion of the branch line to Watley Quarry, which has been reimagined as a what-if nature reserve. So that'll be kind of cool to check out. It's got locomotive and rolling stock workshop facilities built nearby. Radstock, which is where we are at right now, has been revamped to a larger terminus station, complete with locomotive facilities and additional sidings for the northern end of the line, while Watley's depot complements the southern end. Frome Market has received storage sidings and a runaround loop outside the station, meaning that trains will have to shunt back out of the station once passengers have disembarked, allowing for interesting shunting maneuvers. So we're going to check out all that and see how it looks, because the pictures actually look pretty good. Looks like they've done a nice job. So here we are at Radstock right now. This was the end of the line on the original route, and they completely revamped it. Like, completely. It's really quite nice. It's almost completely unrecognizable, to be perfectly honest. Got a big 2-track station right here with a pull-in platform and a run-around platform over here. Obviously the locomotive servicing facilities with steam facilities, water tower, ash pit, coal. So you got the opportunity for both steam. I would assume diesel. We'll see. There's diesel refilling points in a little while. Does not look like there are any on this end of the line, so it looks like this end of the line is pretty well dedicated to steam operations. Plus this is our diesel refill. But there's supposed to be a turntable here in usual train sim fashion. For some wacky reason, the turntables will not spawn in unless you unless you're close enough to them to actually make them rotate, and then they just pop in. So there's a turntable right there. It's not just a hole in the ground. A couple of storage sidings and a lot of added detail. Truth be told, looks really good, given the use of assets at hand. Now there are some things along the route that stand out like a really sore thumb. Bright green tree number uno, dos, tres. I imagine you can use something like, not the utilities, but like an asset swapper to go through and swap all these trees out with like some AP trees, AP vegetation pack. That would probably make this route look mint. Because the 2D billboard trees, I despise them with a passion. Train Simulator is long past the era that those are needed. And when you use 3D trees like these, they stand out horribly next to these. So, not particularly fond of that. However, credit where it is due, they used all Steam payware DLC. You don't have to go searching through 15 different third-party websites to find all the assets for it. So, in that sense, it's actually quite nice. I will give them that credit. Oh, that's interesting. There's a horse inside a trampoline. Interesting. But as I was saying, anyway, credit where it is due. You know, using the assets at hand, it looks to have been done really quite nice. Interesting. It looks like an old shed. We'll operate in a minute, but first we'll free flight end to end. There's a runaround siding right here. So, if I'm remembering correctly, for Radstock, it used to be you'd come down here. What I usually did was pull into this runaround with my train, go ahead and run around the train, and then you push into the station back here, because the station is a single track with an ending. So obviously they have expanded wildly over here. A lot of work that's been done. Personally, I think I would have changed ground texture a little bit. I'm not particularly fond of the green grass underneath the track bed. I think I would have put some something like a gravel underneath here. That's something I'm starting to notice now in Train Sim as I've started been playing with trains, getting back into the route building with trains. It makes a bit of a difference whenever you put like a gravel road bed or something texture-wise underneath the road, the actual track. It helps blend in the road bed, because in Train Sim, when you just leave the grass like that, it looks a little bit model railroad-ish. So like that Bachman Easy Track. Again, this is something I'm really only just now kind of noticing, because it makes a difference in trains. You really notice it stand out. Does still have the walking trail along a lot of the route, it looks like, so that's pretty cool. The ambient noise is pretty nice. Now obviously I won't be able to sit here and point out each and every little detail that is different compared to the original, so you will have to watch my first video on it, see point A to point B, what you guys think. Pretty sure this is in the original route as well. It doesn't look too terribly changed up either. It's a spot to hop on the train from the walking path here. It's also not a huge route by any means, so it's relatively easy to run end to end in one sitting without overextending your stay. Oh yeah, what's this? Wells Road. So this is Mel's Road, not Wells. Mel's Road. So this is the original servicing facilities on the original route, and that does have the diesel facilities. So you have the option for steam locomotives kept at one end. The DMUs that come with the route here. A freight stop right there. This area doesn't look too wildly changed up. If I remember correctly, this used to blend here, and then these two tracks are further back, if I remember right. I might be mistaken, but on the original route this was your one and only servicing facility, so it really limited what you could place down on the route and be able to use effectively, and both A, look correctly, and B, just storage wise. Obviously you got a diesel fueling point, so you can still get away with like a DMU put in here, some other diesel locomotives, obviously storage tracks back here. Just bear in mind, with the way they designed it now, whatever you place down, you'll have to move multiple things around, which can make for some fun shunting to set up a day's train. Anywho, continuing on. A little flag stop for walking people. old siding. Probably could use for a storage siding. Stick some old dilapidated cars and whatnot on. And then here is where a lot of people got irritated with the original route. So here it splits off. And you go that way, your usual passenger operations would continue. Going that way is down to the quarry. Now supposedly the quarry has been actually worked on this time. So let's go check it out. Because on the original route, if I remember correctly, you pretty much go off over here under the tunnel and bam, scenery ended right here. It's done. No more. Zilch. Zero. Yet the track was laid all the way back to here. So I know it disappointed a lot of people that they didn't bother to do anything at all other than laying the track. It looks like they filled in the scenery along the track side here. It is a bit odd. It doesn't seem as dense as the original route. Kind of seems a little more sparse, but still looks pretty decent using older assets. And we get over here to the yard. Locomotive servicing and such. Car servicing. Oh, big opportunity to have all kinds of heritage operations over here. You can have some larger locomotives and such. So that's pretty cool. All this clutter and such. Dang, I actually did a pretty darn good job with this over here. Filled in real nice. And we continue back to here to the train station where what should have been apparently a quarry. That's short. I think I might extend that out a little bit further. A locomotive with a tender may or may not fit right there. I'm leaning more towards won't fit. Then again, I use tank locomotives mostly on this route, so. But dang. Looks like a fairly large car storage shed, you know, for your passenger cars and whatnot. Maybe set it up like a museum. You got all sorts of variety of cars and whatnot preserved inside, so that'd be kind of cool. And the quarry. It's been filled in with a lake. This was done pretty neat. I like it. I think I'd animate it just a little bit more though. Have some more people here, there, and everywhere. This is kind of an odd choice. Having this passing siding through here with a parking lot. This is kind of cool. You stick like some old box cars or something over here in between, like for concession stands or something. That's done up really cool. Might have to see what I've got third-party asset-wise to put some animals out here or something. This is supposed to be like a wildlife reserve or animal refuge. The ambient's kind of dead over here too. It would definitely help to have some ambient sounds out here, because it's kind of dead silent. No birds chirping or anything. Yeah, this quarry area is done up really nice. I like how they did it. Could really make for a fun heritage railroad. I'm gonna be a little bit disappointed, I won't lie, if they they modified the track speed down to like 20, 25 across the whole route. That might make me a little sad. I don't know if I remember all this over here. End of track. Originally, at least on the original route, this is your end of line. Which seems to be the case here too. So not too terribly much changed on this side of the route as far as track work goes. But that is end to end. Again, not very large. I think it's only a few miles. But let's run along it. Let's see what it's like operating. Run back here to our little GWR 4400. Given the fictional nature of the route, I thought it'd be fun to run a locomotive that unfortunately did not survive in a preservation. The 4400s are the original GWR small prairie. The drivers are smaller than the 4500s, so all the 4400s were scrapped. So I thought it'd be a fitting locomotive to use for such a route. Go ahead and start building up our fire. Let's see, what's the map look like? It is a map, again, pretty small. A lot of fun for a little heritage route. You know, not too terribly much going on. It's not massive that it takes you all day to run end to end. In the yards, which is about right. Now, if this locomotive sounds really nice, it's because I put the Steam Sound Supreme upgrade on the small prairies. As we all know, their sound work is absolutely phenomenal. Alright, looks like we got a nice flow going on with our fire. Speed limit. Oh no, they did. Sad times. They dropped the speed limit down to 25 mile an hour. I won't lie, that's probably something I end up going to changing. Because that was one of the appeals to this route, in my opinion, was being able to get like these little tank locomotives up to 35, 40 mile an hour. So I might have to go in and change that. I'm not particularly fond of that. Again, you don't need to be able to race, but it's nice to have something a little bit different than the usual. You know, here we are at a dead crawl. Looks like that's about what we're stuck. At like 35 mile an hour mark is really nice. You get to hear that locomotive. You get to hear those steam sounds kick off. Let's say 35 would have been more what I'd rather it have been. And it's not heartbreaking, but it would have been nice, I think. There's a short run from crap, where did we leave? Radstock to Mel's Road. Just to see how it runs. Seems to run quite nice. Outside of the speed limit, but yeah, that's not too terribly hard to change. Something I can change to fit my more personal desires. But overall, I think it's pretty darn good. I definitely recommend checking it out. I think it's a phenomenal looking upgrade to the old North Somerset route. It has the potential for a lot of fun. I mean, with all the storage and whatnot, you can have quite a few different options available for operation, as well as the already fairly nice mainline run. It's, you know, got a nice point A to point B. Plenty of room for some 4, 5, 6 car trains, maybe. I definitely recommend checking it out. You guys saw the website, Peppercorn Workshops. I went through it at the beginning of the video. But link in the description where you can find it. Highly recommend checking it out. I think it's pretty darn cool for a first look. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time.